Alrighty then. Hello and welcome back to Operation Expanding Horizons. This is going to be Germany, turn 8, January 1940. I believe the rolled result here is China at war, result 10. At the end of turn 7, which is between turn 7 and 8, which is China lobby the U.S. may lend lease to KMT regardless of its income level. Additionally, roll 1d6. The U.S. immediately gives the KMT that many IPPs. Alright, and I believe that was a 4 in the Discord housekeeping chat. Regardless. Tech for the Germans was rolled on Discord, and it was 4 misses and 1 hit. So this will slide over, and we can erase those things. So now Germany's got 3 techs that are waiting to finish off here. Sad that they didn't get any of those, but it happens. We are coming over here looking at buys. We've got 1 strat, 1 fighter, 2 U-boats, 4 infantry, 3 militia. Then we, given the supply path that we have to Iraq, we are going to produce 2 supplies for upgrades, and then we're also going to produce 2 Iraqi German-aligned Iraqi militia. And in effect, it'll be creating 2 German-aligned Iraqi infantry when that's necessary. Furthermore, this is the time of the turn where we declare sending the DAC. And the DAC will be comprised of 8 units: medium armor, the Bohemian light armor, the Romanian motorized infantry, an Austrian infantry, a Hungarian infantry, a Slovakian infantry, and 2 German artillery. They have been noted on the board as tagged as units that are going to be taken out, and so I can do that now. We're also sending the Italian Marines to Italy. This here is a self-propelled gun to signify the cost of sending the DAC. We will be, I don't remember when it is, but we are going to be annexing the Bulgarian Cav, because last turn we annexed Hungary. We aligned Hungary. We're going to be aligning Bulgaria during that part of the turn. I don't remember when it is. I believe it's at the end, but we're going to do that now. Alright, we have several planned attacks, so that is going to be fun when we get to it. We can actually just bring these out. The SPA is unnecessary. We were going to lend lease over to our allies. However, Yeah, and these gents are going right there. That's the deck, and that's the deck there. Italian Marine will go through things here, trace a supply path, and get its way to southern Italy. Because that's possible through Vichy France. Tracing supply paths. Where was I? I had a train of thought. Ah, yes. In announcing various attacks, we are going to march this Austrian infantry over into Lithuania, claim it. These 4 units here are part of the deck, as are these 2 units, as are this unit and this unit. And so these units will be swept away. These 8 become those 8. Alright. That one is finished. We're going to move other things here in the meantime. Move into Western Yugoslavia to pick up where we left off. Last turn. The 86th is rolling out here. So we're going to have some shots there. The German 18th Air is actually going to decide to go 1, 2, 3. What I should have done is message Von Dox and see if he wants to scramble 2 fighters in pursuit of the 2 fighters, 1 strategic bomber that are targeting this here major shipyard to bomb the shipyard. And if he would like to immediately spring some of his units out to avoid such a thing. So let me just message Von Dox and see if he will reply post haste. My thought is that he will, and so caveat to whatever he decides to do here. If he doesn't, then we ignore the results of any battle that I'll roll right now, but I will roll the battle right now. And I suppose I shall refrain from giving the results out until that happens. All right. He may or may not respond. In terms of any other attacks, I believe this is coming off of map during the non-combat movement phase, but we can do that now. Yeah. We are going to take the little bit of a risky fight, send some German aligned Iraqi infantry and a German infantry and a German cavalry into southern Iran. We want to get that money, money, money. So that will occur. Those should be the German attacks. Oh, we are also rolling for interdiction here on the lines that are now worth a total collective 10 along the east and west sides of Africa off the Cape of Good Hope here. We are also going to be moving our Far Eastern Monsoon Group sub over to the Banda Sea just to cause trouble and be of nuisance to the Australians. I suppose we can roll that now. See what they lose. Alright, so that's 7 compared to a 2. I don't believe any of us have techs that are going to benefit that. Yeah, nobody's got techs, so techs do nothing. There's maximum damage of 2 inflicted here. So 2 damage to Anzac. We'll roll here and hope for some similar kind of results. 1 cash. 3 plus 2 versus a 4. So that is slightly sad, but understandable. Let's see here. We'll add 1 damage to this line. Give the Japanese a little more to raid. Give them the opportunity on that. I mean, they could just go 1, 2, 3, and Bob's your uncle, I guess. Even more to raid. Alright, well, one more on the British. 221. This one, I believe, will add to there. If it doesn't, then it'll just be this 1 over here and still be subtracted. Alright. There's a question here of Vichy France going in and through and around and just attacking these Free French ships in the middle of the American Armada. I think they're likely not going to do such a thing. The only attacks, I suppose, that would occur would be bam and bam. And we can non-combat move. In the meantime, a few things there. This transport goes down and up, transporting those, in case that's not clear. These are not in a port. Seems that Von Dox is replying, so that's helpful. And we'll get rid of all of that hullabaloo. One moment. This sub, I forgot to mark with a thing to show that it would be something I need to do, but it is still something that we need to do. It's no concern whatsoever. He does nothing. Alright. The possibility exists. So we shall roll for it. We'll have the German planes and the British planes. I believe this is at a 1 for the German strat bomber, and all of the planes are at 3s on their dogfighting values. This is not changed by the 448 fighter rules. So Von Dox, I believe, is considering at the moment, but we're still going to roll this as if it is affirmative. If he does, we can just postpone the rolling of this until he messages back. Because if he just wants to send up one, then that could complicate things if we have already started rolling. This, however, shouldn't be too difficult, but we can put it on the battle board nonetheless. Once again, so this battle board, you can right-click color tint and adjust it to whatever is better for you. That's full opacity. This is a little easier for myself to see all the different things that are going on. So a cav at 2, 3 infantry at 1 versus an British aligned Iranian militia and a British aligned Iranian infantry. So we'll get that and that in case dice get mixed. We can tell this is the cav. Alright, this is a 2, not a 1, despite it looking like it might roll over. That is a 1. That is a miss and a miss, and a miss and a miss. So the Iranian, British aligned Iranian militia goes goodbye. And we continue the fight. Nothing, and he gets a hit. So we'll lose the regular German, because it's more interesting to have Iranian infantry fighting. Misses all around. There's a 2 and a 3, so one more, well, Iraqi. I said it Iranian, didn't I? That will take a hit, and he will take a hit. So we survive. It was a 2 for 2. Not the worst thing in the world. Victory is ours. No, we're not going to do that. Let's see here. We can do the battle here. For Western Yugoslavia. Complete messes all around. Miss on the defense. Complete misses on the offense. Very sad. Miss and miss, and this is finally a hit, and that's also finally a hit. So the British are gone from Yugoslavia. That keeps happening. I gotta adjust that. Alright, the 86th in Austria, because that apparently happened. I shouldn't have brought this, I should have brought the actual 86th. There we go. We've got self-propelled artillery shooting at 2 because it's mountains, and tanks shooting at 5 because it's mountains. And right. I guess Vondox has replied. Alright, Von Dux seems to be a little preoccupied with trying to get the state of the board, which is his right. Apologies for the delay in action here in this video. The first strikes on the artillery will go progressively up, I believe. So the first thing to die and have its result cancelled would be the cavalry, and then following would be the Yugoslavian infantry, should they die without being able to shoot. However, that is not the case. In fact, the Germans missed entirely, and there is one hit from the Yugoslav infantry. So we will take a SPA. And go again. Misses. He gets a hit. And that's 2 hits from them. So 2 for 2 is not bad for guys that were destined to die. Alright, so we have cleared up almost everything here, which is good. We have some non-combats to do after this is decided. We're still waiting on Von Dux. These are essentially becoming these. The supplies go down, then we rebuild the militia, and the boys are there. Just messaging with Von Dux. He's still thinking of things, which is fine. Gives us time to enjoy the Iraqi German aligned infantry, and I think it's more fun that you keep the aligned countries visible in the game when you can. Just brings about more realization of how alternate this run through of history is compared to reality. But we can do some non-coms that aren't affected by any of this, like these 3 German cav. I'm just going to go 1, 2 here into Paris. And we're going to have 2 German cav and 1 German cav and 1 German cav come into central Romania. Funny, this region of Eastern Europe was called Dacia back in the day. This was Thrace, right around in here, and this was Dacia. But nobody knows of Dacia anymore, and most people can't pick it out on a map, because what the Romans did is they murdered everybody over here. They're like, you know what? The Dacians with their Dacian falchions, they're just not something that we want to have keep raiding our frontier of our empire. So while the Danube River was a natural frontier and barrier, what the Romans eventually did over several decades was they just went across, raided, and left. Went across, raided, and left. Eventually just pillaging enough where all of the people of Dacia were like, yeah, this isn't great living here. We should maybe just ask to join Rome, or just go in as settlers, or, you know, have them come in and just take over the area to protect us from other barbarian tribes to our north. So then it was incorporated, and the people were spread out throughout the empire and like not allowed to inhabit a single place. And so it was ethnically cleansed by the Romans, which is why people do not understand that this used to be Dacia, and actually why it is called Romania is because it's named after the Romans who ethnically cleansed it. What does he see? He's asking how the fighters are reaching the shipyard. He's wondering how the fighters are reaching the shipyard. I'm trying to explain that they're not reaching the shipyard per se. They're going to southern England as escorts for a strategic bombing run. If he sends up his British fighters as interceptors, then I have 2 fighters on escort for the bomber, and so we have 1 round of combat. Yada yada. Asking if Vondox wants to hop on a call quick and join as part of the video recording. We'll see what he says, I suppose. We can actually just roll this battle, and should he decide that he doesn't want to use both planes, then we'll count the left one as valid first, and if he's using both, then we'll roll both. But if he's only using one fighter, we'll just use the one on the left. Alright, assuming that this is happening with both of his fighters, if he doesn't send any, then obviously this doesn't matter. There's a 1 and a 1, so this is a hit in general from him. This is a hit with target select at 1 because we're playing with that as part of the 448 fighters. However, there's only fighters to select, so each lose 1. Subject, of course, to him deciding that he wants to fly in at all. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But he does not lose both, and that's good for him. We've got some D6s for damage on the port, and an AA will return fire to defend the port at a 3. This shipyard will shoot down my bomber and take 6. I don't know if 6 is the max on a shipyard. Major shipyard, major shipyard. Where are you now? Don't. Major shipyard. Maximum damage is 5. Okay. So we rolled 6. The max damage is 5. Our bomber is gone, quite sadly. But his ability to receive Lend-Lease there, and to move ships freely is limited. The 18th Air, now comprising just 1 fighter. It's quite sad. We'll have lost the bomber for sure. These we don't know yet. The 18th will land likely in Normandy. Given that it's landing there, we might just move 1 dude there. Move 1 artillery just to be a defensiveness. And if he chooses to fight or not, we can make dogfight casualties. Alright. We're able to move these. We were able to move these. We will be moving our fleet there. We will actually move our transport strategically. 1 to pick up the Free Arabian Legion. 3, 4. Drop him off in Syria. And I suppose we'll go into port. Because why not? This is the time where the DAC is fully sent. There are no submarines to interdict in this time, at this time, so that's always helpful. The non-combats for Vichy France already took place. We can put up some subs, put out some subs rather. And you could actually reform the 18th Air over there. This guy will just be the fighter that landed. Once again, we've got a bomber. That was probably not worth it. Sending one bomber and having him die like that. For not even a factory kill. Oof, that hurt. Let's see. We've got the militia. We're going to send one there. We already have things there, so we're just going to put one in there. Going to put one in Alsace-Lorraine. In fact, we don't actually need one there. We can put one in Warsaw. We can put one here in Romania. And then we've got 4 infantry. Will be our 4 small factories. Outside of Germany. Oh, this guy went 1. He needs to land, so he'll be 2, 3, 4. He'll join the 18th. What else here? This guy is still here. Did his duty. This guy is now here. He did his duty. That guy's there. He shot at things and failed to hit anything. Overall, pretty darn good success, I would say. Pretty darn good success. Okay. Yes. And I'll just double check. Strategic rail and naval and port. Move aircraft return from combat or map. I believe we've accomplished that already. Place units, deliver lend-lease, roll for captured ships, recruitment, influence, collect income. That is important to remember. So we've got Vichy recruitment. We have hit 2 for 2. We are hoping for another. Okay, so that is quite excellent. We'll throw that guy down here, I suppose, because he doesn't need to be in Vichy. He can be wherever we want him to be, as long as we controlled it at the start of the turn. And it's worth money? I don't remember. I believe that's in the recruitment section. Income increases. We can Foreign Legion. Alright. Recruitment roles. 1 infantry or 2 militia. Land zones possessed by that controlled nation since the beginning of the player turn. Advancement of 1 ship in the controlled nation's build queue. Or 1 full facility repair. And infantry here is a double asterisk. Vichy gets 1 foreign legion placed in land zone with an IPP value that it is possessed since the beginning of the player turn. So Morocco has an IPP value, but Western and Southern Algeria would not. So that is that. But that's fun to see that we've got more and more Vichy. We seem to have a decision from Von Docks. He wants to scramble the 3 transports. I don't know if he's able to scramble 3 transports, but he's trying to scramble 3 transports. So we got 3 transports scrambled, and no, there isn't anything here. I'm not trying to trick him on that. There will now be some things right here, but that's like later. I guess this decision for him to scramble that is a choice of his that he can make. And he does that during the turn, and these guys can be built at any of these French dockyards, shipyards after that. So they could just pop up, bam, right here. But my thought is perhaps I don't want to do that simply because they don't want to get shot. They will indeed stay where they are. He chose not to send his fighters, so these dogfight casualties do not exist. This German fighter will join his comrade in Normandy, happily so. So we lost the bomber. Okay. We can get rid of the dogfight casualty zone because it no longer applies. Given that he wants to actually have his transports usable, that is of slight concern. Enough that I'm tempted. We'll keep it the way we've got it, I guess. Well, now I'm thinking if we just put the Kriegsmarine in harbor, that may be better. The Kriegsmarine can sit in harbor. Just in case he wants to do some shenanigans. I will be ready. In Wilhelmshaven. Wilhelmshaven. Yes, very interesting for the Vichy to get 3 recruits out of 3 opportunities. It's quite unusual. I don't believe I've got anything else to do for Germans. This has been an hour-long video. Yikes. But that should wrap up their turn 8. And we can send it on to Laker with the CCP and the Soviet Union. And from there onward. Yep, we should pick up money. So we had 67 and we spent 67. Now we should look and see what we got. We have 56 plus 4 for Transcaucasia. No, for Southern Iran and Northern Iraq. So this is 60. 66. $71, including the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, that we can decide, hey, we should be able to do that. 71, and then if we decide to take some Vichy money, it could be even more hilarious. But with 4, Vichy is actually able to purchase more of their own Free French legions, foreign legions. So we'll pick up the 71. Ostensibly picking up the 5 a little early. And we'll let Vichy keep their 4. Nah, you know what? That's fine. We don't need to let Vichy keep their 4. Germany can make a lot better use, I think. And again, it would be very funny to have a large French Foreign Legion presence in Casablanca. That would be just funny. It's fine. Instead of picking up any, they'll send it over to Germany. So instead of 71, they'll pick up 75. And that should wrap up Germany turn 8 for you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.